Kick-ass facts, more fake deaths. Pew, 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 pew! Trigger warning on the first one. Charles Peter Mule, a Louisiana policeman, was charged with 29 counts related to the rape and molestation of several young girls in 1988. After being released on bail, Mule left his truck alongside a bridge with a note sent to the police department. His claimed suicide was ruled inconclusive after police failed to find a corpse in the river, and a hiker reported to police that a man had opened fire on him without warning and whose description matched Mule's. After the case was profiled on the television show Unsolved Mysteries, he was captured. In September 1930, Aleister Crowley, a self-proclaimed prophet and founder of the religion Thelema, I'm not Googling it, tomato, jumped off a cliff near Lisbon, Portugal. Or so it seemed. 3 weeks later, he turned up alive and well in Berlin. Turns out it was all an elaborate hoax he'd planned with an acquaintance. His motives remain unclear, but it's possible he did it to get away from a woman with whom he'd been traveling and with whom he'd grown bored. While on a trip to Russia in 2008, Stephen Calloway and his wife decided to try something new. She reported him dead and then returned to their home in Britain and presented the Russian death certificate she'd obtained for her husband. 2 years later, he came forward admitting his death had been faked to duck an investigation into insurance fraud. He made an insurance claim on his business that he then used to pay for his wife's new boobs. Unhappy with his marriage, Indian social activist Chandra Mohan Sharma decided to run away and start a new life with another woman. To stage his death convincingly, Sharma befriended a homeless man in the area and set his own car on fire with the man inside it. He moved to another city with his new girlfriend, whose family soon reported her missing. A few months later, with the financial burden now weighing him down, Sharma called his girlfriend's family from a public call center and gave them her location. The call was traced by police, leading to Sharma's arrest. He was returned home, much to his family's surprise, and sentenced to life imprisonment for the death of the homeless man. Jerry Balasag was a professional wrestler whose career came to a halt after a bad bike accident. He began managing a motorcycle store, where he wrote fraudulent checks and was indicted by the FBI on multiple counts of forgery. Balasag went on the run just before his trial began and adopted a new name. He lived for years undetected, and prosecutors dropped the charges against him after they were convinced he had died in the 1978 Jonestown massacre. Balasag could have gone living the rest of his days under his new identity, but his criminal tendencies never went away. In 1989, he was arrested for the attempted murder, and his true identity was discovered the minute he was fingerprinted. In 1979, New Jersey State Senator David Friedland was charged with accepting bribes in exchange for arranging fraudulent loans from the Teamsters Union pension. Friedland accepted a deal to avoid jail time in exchange for becoming a government informant, but when it looked like he might still be going to prison, he faked his own death in a scuba diving accident in the Bahamas. Friedland then traveled the world and ended up in the Maldives, where he kept a high profile as the owner of a chain of scuba diving shops. This ultimately led to his arrest and extradition back to the U.S. Honestly.